So this is a kind of Stardew Valley Animal Crossing type game. It's been out since 2022, I believe. It's got quite a lot of reviews, so it's obviously quite popular. October 11th, so about 5,000 reviews. So during this, I'm actually going to not use the desktop view, just so you can see like more one-to-one what it's like in the headset. The UI, so I did showcase that in the last video, where the UI will be presented to viewers when they capture software, like orthogonal and perpendicular, like it would be on flat screen. So I'm just going through the settings now. I do notice quite early on there's like an artifact, and I kind of keep going for a bit before changing to sync sequential, before ending up realizing it's actually the temporal upscaler. It's I need to disable that to fix it. But just going in, just checking the settings. It's quite a relatively simple game, although it does struggle a little bit, so you might want some slightly lower settings. It's one of these eternally early access games. Yeah, so you see, this is only my left eye as well. There's like a shadow, so that's just from the temporal upscaler. I don't know whether it's trying to do it twice because I turned it on in the settings, but it seems like turning it on in the in-game menu does the same. So yeah, pretty cool little character creator. Quite a good selection of haircuts as well. Although after playing this, I would recommend Harvestella. It's like an order of magnitude better, I think, but I think this is still good for some people. I like this style. Now it's like a top-down game, so there's no like camera control. So you can either kind of look at it top-down in your VR view, or decouple the picture with an option which I create a camera offset for, and you can get kind of a third-person look, but without camera rotation. It's a bit annoying. But it's still pretty cool to be able to switch to that and get a closer look at the models. So just interesting, all the default colours for eyes are brown. Very weird. Color customization for lips coming soon. You know you're playing an early access game. Pretty cool, you get to pick your starting color. Nice. So you can see it's kind of like infinite backdrop if you do like photography. They've set one of those up. Don't know what MX is. Mazda MX-5. So bizarrely, there's like a in development build, like disclaimer. I mean, this came out in October 2022 when you boot up the game. Like not a demo, but yeah, I'm like persevering with this artifacting because I'm thinking, oh, maybe it will stop some of the cutscene, because I generally move to sync sequential at the last moment, and when I switched to sync sequential and I saw that it was still there, that's when I realised, oh, it must be something else. So I'm like totally not paying attention to the dialogue here. So I'm like unticking things like the volumetric cloud. I'm thinking, is it that? So I switched to sync sequential, and you can see it's still there. Skip draw, skip tick. No, okay. So I'm back to native stereo and thinking, okay, what is doing it? And this is actually, I think, the first game that I've seen a visual problem with the Epic's temporal upscaler. I'm turning off depth of field, motion blur, just making sure it's not that. So you see these two there, and then I turn it off, and it's fixed. Although weirdly, it did seem to make the saturation a little bit better, personally. So with off, I just go back to 100. There's no point having it lower without it on. Kind of reminds me of the Park Beyond, which I played earlier, the roller coaster game. The models look kind of similar for the people. I feel like I've done this before, maybe in another life, in another game. So this is the default, like, top-down look. I actually changed it to like a miniature world scale in a bit, just because it's more charming. So you can see, like, when you're quite high up, you see a lot of the boundaries of the world, so it's quite nice to actually get lower. So I think even if you're having a top-down view, having a more zoomed-in perspective would probably be the pick here. But you can have a bunch of the camera offsets saved and just flick between them. Yeah, so there I turned it to a tiny world scale. It's just so super not noticeable in flat screen, but... Oh yeah, I accidentally turned on split screen compatibility and it seemed to like double the luminosity, I don't know why. So you see it decoupled, and so now I'm like perpendicular to the horizon, but I'm still quite far away. So I kind of move myself lower and forward. So this is like your house that's bigger on the inside. So if you can't move it with just the right trigger and the analog sticks, just use the sliders to do big moves. So there we go. So you have like a big farm to manage, like Harvestella, Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, and then you've got like all the islanders. There's like romance options, I think, and like different merchants and stuff to buy things and sell from. It looks like around a bit later, and it's like there's some extra areas to explore and expand the island with, I think. So I'm not quite sure how much content's there. Again, it's still like got the early access text in the cutscene. Very weird. So that's the whole farm and like the island. Kind of looks like San Andreas when it's zoomed out. You can't skip this, by the way. You can't skip this. But relatively, the intro is quite brief. But, yeah, so on native, the only thing I can see, like one eye, is maybe there's like some screen space stuff right in the very corner of my eye that you can't see here, like of like the water and like the screen space reflections. Also, at the very back of the world is like this black wall, like something from Game of Thrones, or the eternal cylinder that's about to crush the island. Obviously, if no one will be able to look back there. So I'm like, okay, it is off. It is off in the settings. Actually, I kind of just make some more optimized settings here. Just turn a few things down. See how it affects performance. At least the gamepad controls are pretty good. So you could just use your touch controllers. So you see that's the decoupled pitch. And interestingly, there's like, I think your upgraded house to your left and right, like the models are still there. Like I look over, I think those are the upgraded houses that, yeah, and you just shift over. So I'm on decoupled pitch. So with this, I'd probably actually make the UI smaller just on the slider. I have to like 50 wood. Okay. And you have to untick the auto adjust UI when you do the decoupled pitch, so it snaps that to it as well. Otherwise, it's like got the same angle as you would play normally. So I kind of like notice my mouse cursor. I think if you just wobble your mouse a bit, it disappears. I'll find it later on. So to bring up the mod menus, R3 and L3, but L3 I think is like the zoom out when you're on your phone, which is why you keep getting that. Left trigger, right trigger changes the little toolbar. There is like a stamina thing. Kind of like Harvestella actually. Like after chopping wood, I'm like, I'm so over this. I just go walk around. Also, you notice there's music playing right now, right? Like for some reason it stops playing later on. I think that's just a game thing. It's probably expecting me to continue chopping wood, and it doesn't play the music in like the other zones that I shouldn't be in. Bunch of like metal rubbish everywhere. So yeah, you can bring it like much closer. Like this would be nicer, and then with a rotating camera, that'd be good. The black wall. So now I just think, oh, so I see the cursor and like, yeah, wobble the mouse and it's gone. So it seems like there's a lot of like little personalities and cute places, nice little signs everywhere. But it feels much more normal when you're in this decoupled pitch mode. When you're looking down, it can get a bit motion sickness, I think, over time in a top-down game. Actually, I go back to Epic or Ultra settings. I don't worry about the motion blur because I've got it turned off on the Siva. I just double checking. Yeah, it's off. And actually, because it's a little bit washed out, the colours, like, so I just kind of change the gamma a bit just to make it more contrasty. And you see that the music's completely stopped now. I think it's because I'm not supposed to be in this area and I'm supposed to be just chopping wood. You just hear like the ambient. It's like it's kind of like Harvestella, but just that one beach area spread across an entire island. Can't pick the grapes. So it gets a little bit confusing when you walk down. If the camera's too close, but you can move a bit further out. Or just physically look or spin in a chair. But it is very quick to change the camera settings, so you could do top down or then come down. Just like more, there's like a modern day building stuff going on. So all of this is pretty nice. I think with some further modding, you could probably add a rotation to the camera as well. Yeah, some areas look locked off from progression, I think. hopefully. They're finished. Water looks nice. Yeah, I'm just a walk around, and then this is Coral Island currently on sale. So check it out if this kind of thing interests you.